I'd like to talk about millennials. Some people call them the snowflake generation.
Yeah.
Some people call them Generation Wuss.
Yeah, exactly.
Talk to me.
Their generation opportunity, because what a world they're coming in, with all the opportunities. They're growing up with the tools that are fantastic. What we're seeing in America at the moment, Chris, is this, that millennials, snowflakes might be just slightly different, but same sort of thing. They're going one way or the other. They're either super wealthy, billionaires they can be, or incredibly wealthy, multi-millionaires, or they're broke. And why is that? Because they either know and are using the social media, or they're not. It's as simple as that. Now, a good example of this was obviously the crypto world, or if you want to call it Bitcoin. People say, oh, it's not the same. It's connected. The technology, at least, is there. Ethereum, different things. So there was a time when all of a sudden, and we were sort of brought into ambassador brands for this for a while, but they weren't listening to our approach enough. They were starting to understand how to use the broker of brokers, but we wanted to sort of take them to the next level. And the thing about that world is this: the world will move towards a crypto. They're already working, I think, on sterling crypto in the future. And that mindset of numbers is very important in the technology. For example, you go to your bank, you say, give me £1,000. They don't go to the safe and take out £1,000. They just move numbers around and take the money out of the till. There's no money there. Otherwise, everyone would go to the bank and rob it. So, not everyone, but it would happen. Now, sure, they've got a certain amount of money there, but not the big figures. Okay. So that technology is there and will grow. Now, within the mindset of back to the question, the younger generations, they are either going to embrace these ideas or get lost. And that's where they're going. So there's got to be a new structure in schooling to embrace this way of thinking and working. The school structure at the moment is a waste of time. It's a disaster. We now have to talk about education.
Okay, but we'll talk about education in a second. Millennials isn't about crypto. Millennials is about the way they were brought up and their mindset and their attitude. Is that a good thing or a bad thing that they're bringing to the world? There seems to be, on the negative side, a sense of entitlement. Yet at the same time, on a positive side, money's not everything. It's about experiences, but then you need money for experiences. It's about giving back.
In our generations, there was no interest in giving back, to be frank, or very little, let's face it. Their view is with global warming, green, the different things, they're brainwashed into the idea that they feel that they have a duty to the world, which is a great thing, because past generations, as I've just admitted, haven't had that same thought process or caring. It hasn't been a sense of the population being so aware. Now we're talking about 7.6 billion people on the planet today. Out of those, 6.7 are literate. 1 billion are illiterate. Now you might say, oh, that's a disaster. You'd have thought it was worse than that. So, there's now a case to be said that the whole idea of modelling, if you're a country, what do you want to do with your people? You're a business. You want to say to people, right, we need help in these sectors. Let's train our people for these sectors rather than them not doing anything or being a waste to society. So now with artificial intelligence, with everything that's taking place, there is a great opportunity for these younger people to really embrace things. But I think there's also a psychological issue, because their world of go out, get dirty, fight, swear, be rude, all of these things are off the table. they're now afraid of their shadow because there's so many rules, so many regulations, so much Me Too, so much political correctness that they're confused because they'll watch old movies and they'll say, what the hell is that? It's a different world. And I know, talking to them, that they are a little bit confused because at the moment you've got 5 or 6 generations living at the same time.
Yeah, baby boomers, Generation X, Z, whatever they call them this week. So is it our responsibility as more senior members of society to accommodate their needs? Or is it their responsibility as millennials to be more accommodating to their seniors? Or should it be both?
Well, the language, the meta language, as the broker of brokers likes to say, needs to be addressed. In other words, we're talking one language with two languages here at the moment. One is English and the other is business language or communication within the framework of the main property, which is the subject matter, although we're crossing over into other genres. They are talking different languages. And again, as you know from computers, if computers are talking different languages, they can't communicate. So they have to formulate some sort of...
So should it come back to the original question? Should we as bosses be more accommodating, or is it just as simple as pure good communication that we should ask the question and listen?
We have to train them to know how to deal with the old-fashioned style of one-to-one because they're so... their attention span is such that they struggle to sit in a place for a long time and do what we're doing. They couldn't do it because of all the information that's flying across.
Because one thing that I've noticed is that there seems to be, as the years go by, everyone's looking for the shortcut and not playing the long game, being patient in this world.
Well, you've got two elements. A lot of people say that you need to think about the long term. So, when you get involved in an investment, that investment has to be a double whammy. For it to be a good investment decision, if it's a stock and share, you've got a spread. If it's a property price, there's also a spread as well. Because if you bought something and then you sold it the next day, it could be a case that you bought it well and the price goes up. Same with a share. So you've got that to take into. That's short term, knowing that you've done well when you get in. And the job of an investment broker or any form of broker is to help the client to understand that there's no other word for it, a mispriced asset. It's an opportunity. It's an arbitrage. It's a time to do it. That's the short term. The medium term, long term are the same in the sense that where's this going to grow? So if you say, as a strategy, I might say, I need long-term growth because that's where exponentially I make big money, but I also need to survive on the day-to-day. So it can't be, there's a lot of articles in the paper about this whole idea of entrepreneurial companies never earning any money because they keep waiting and waiting and waiting and then they can't survive. So there has to be a payback time. There has to be a fact that you are winning on the... It's a little bit like the commission structure within companies.
Well, you have to earn enough to put food on your plate and a roof over your table, but at the same time, don't spend it all at the same time so you can buy cars and watches that just trying to impress people you don't like, to invest in your future. It's that balancing act, but life's like that, isn't it?
Well, no, I mean, again, this is a case of...
You can't have your cake and eat it.
I think you can. And I think the broker of brokers is about the fact that you can have your cake. What's the point of having a cake if you can't eat it?
But surely if there's a bigger cake in the future, it's that balancing act.
But you don't know if there's going to be a bigger cake. When I made £15,000 in a day, 75,000, I thought that was going to be my future and I'll be a billionaire. And it didn't work out that way.
Depends if money's everything.
Money is everything in the sense that it gives you the opportunity to do everything. You like that, don't you? Didn't think about that. That's a soundbite right there.
I'm speechless. But surely we have a responsibility as human beings to give back to others who are less fortunate than us.
Yeah, but you're only good if you're strong. You can't be giving back until you've got. You can't love anyone unless you love yourself.
True, I agree with that. And what you're saying is that without money, you can't give it money and help to other people.
Well, if there was no money involved today, we'd be sitting in a park. And I've said to some of the people, I won't mention company involved, but they'll know who they are, stop showing videos of yourself in a park. You know, anyone can go to a park. Why would someone want to deal with you if you're in a park? Oh, it's nature. To hell with nature. They want to see power. They want to see money. They want to see success. That's another question about videos, perhaps. But anyway.
Let's do that now then.